Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, my screen is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, very good afternoon. So today we are going to go for the third lecture on unit number 5. We are on the machine learning models. So let's have a little bit of flashback and then we'll move to the your main points. So we have seen linear models. Now, in case of linear models, we have seen that x1 and x2 are the scalar having or vectors having the same dimension, and a, b are the arbitrary scalars. Then ax1 and bx2 represents the linear combinations of x1 and x2. We have also seen that f of x represents a straight line, and the equation will become as fx is equal to mx plus c, where c represents the intercept, m represents the slope. And actually, in case of linear modeling, what we are going to find out is m and c. These are the parameters which we are going to learn from the data. So this is about the linear models. So we have seen that it is less likely to overfit the training data, but it is most likely to go for an underfit. So underfit is nothing but both the training as well as testing performances are poor. It has low variance and high bias and having a relatively few parameters. So linear models are having low variance and high bias. One more thing which is very important as far as linear models is concerned is the stability. Small variations in the training data have only a limited impact on the learning model. So that's a very good sign as far as linear models are concerned. Then we have seen the least square method, which is nothing but a form of mathematical regression analysis. And it gives the line of best fit for the set of data, which will help you to provide a visual demonstration of the relationship between the data sets. Least square methods gives a relationship between the known independent variables and unknown dependent variables. This is the method of regression analysis, which is a plotted set of data points to be plotted on x and y axis graph. The analysis actually explains the potential relationship between independent and dependent variables, and the designations will form the equation for the line to be a best fit. We have also seen an example of a company's stock market. So it gives actually the relationship between the stock return and the index return. So we can see that the analyst seeks the test to dependency of a stock returns on the index returns. So which can be plotted on a chart. And we know that in case of this, the index return is an independent variable, whereas the stock return is a dependent variable. Then we have seen two equations, the line of a best fit equation and least square regression line. We have also analyzed the multivariate regression method, in which the regression analysis is one of the most sought out methods in data analysis, which follows a supervised machine learning algorithm. Regression analysis is important statistical method that allows us to examine the relationship between two or more variables in the data set. There are two types of regressions which are there. One is a simple linear regression and the other one is a multiple linear regression. In case of simple linear regression, it estimates the relationships between dependent variable and independent variable using a straight line. Whereas on the other hand, multiple linear regression actually gives the relationship between two or more independent variable and one dependent variable. This is the most important line if you study this regressions method. Then regression analysis helps you to understand the relationship between dependent and independent variables. Then example, we can say that there are few of the drawbacks that are in the simple linear regression and multiple linear regressions, which are easily overcome by the multivariate regressions. And that's why the multivariate regression will come into the picture. So it actually involves multiple data variables for the analysis, and it is an extension of multiple regression with one dependent variable and multiple independent variables. So based on number of independent variables, it tries to predict the output. Multiple regression actually tries to find out the formula that explain how factors in variables respond simultaneously to the changes in the others. The best example of multivariate regression is to product the total crop yield expected in the summer. How it can be? Obviously by selecting some of the features or variables such as rainfall, fertilizers, and the soil conditions. So when these features are analyzed and applied through the multivariate regressions, we can easily predict the crop yield. With the crop yield, the scientist also tries to understand the relationship between different variables. Example, relationship between rainfall, fertilizers, and the soil conditions, as these are the important variables, which in turn we can say to be as a variables. Then how this multivariate regression actually follows? It follows few of the steps. First is the feature selection. The second one is a normalization feature. Then the select loss function and hypothesis, setting the hypothesis parameters, minimizing the loss functions, and testing the hypothesis function. These are some of the steps that are included in multivariate regression. Advantages, it helps us to understand the relation among the variables that is present in the data set, helps in understanding the correlation between dependent and independent variables, and it is widely used as a machine learning algorithm. Some of the disadvantages, it is a bit complex and requires a high level of mathematical calculations. The multivariate regressions output is not easy to interpret sometimes because it has some losses as well as errors, which are very much identical. It does not have best suits on a smaller data set, but we can say that it works better on a large data sets. Then we have seen regularized regression methods. So obviously for what the regularization is being used, we have discussed it. That is, it can overcome the problem of overfitting and also increases the model interpretability. The regularization technique is the most important concept in machine learning that prevents the model from overfitting, and how it does by adding extra information to it. So for the regression problem, the increase in flexibility of model is represented by increase in its coefficient, which can be calculated from the regression line. In simple words, what we can say is that in regularization technique, we reduce the magnitude of the independent variables by keeping the same number of variables, and thus it maintains accuracy as well as generalization of the model. Then we have seen that how this reducing of the magnitude takes place. See, here there is a one line. This is the line. We reduces the magnitude of the independent variables by keeping the same number of variables. तो ये कैसे करता है वो? It can be done with the help of a method called as a complex term or a shrinkage term that is done with the help of a residual sum of squares, that is RSS, to the complex model. So how that is done? The equation goes like this. Y is represented like beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 up till beta p xp, where x1 to xp are nothing but the independent features, whereas from beta 0 to beta n represents the coefficients which estimates for the different variables or predictor x. So there are two things in this. X is the independent feature, whereas beta are nothing but the coefficients of different variables for different variables, which describes the weights or magnitude attached to the features respectively. In simple line, what we say that in a simple linear regression, our optimization function or loss function is called as a residual sum of the squares. That's why we apply RSS, which calculates the loss function for the regularized regression method. How that loss function can be minimized, that is done with the help of set of coefficients like RSS equal to summation 1 to n yi minus beta 0 minus summation j equal to 1 to p b beta j xij whole bracket square. Then we have seen least square regression for the classification. इसमें हमने देखा कि it can be, as we know that the least square regressions is used to solve a classification problem. The data point of the first and second class are extended by adding a new extra dimension. सो ये वाला लाइन जो है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है एज फार एज लीस्ट स्क्वायर रिग्रेशन क्लासिफिकेशन इज कंसर्न। हम क्या कर रहे हैं, द डेटा पॉइंट्स ऑफ फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड क्लास, दो अगर क्लासेस है तो वो उनके जो डेटा पॉइंट्स है वो हम उनको एक्सटेंड कर रहे हैं बाय एडिंग द न्यू एक्स्ट्रा डायमेंशन। सो हाउ दिस डायमेंशंस आर एडेड, obviously that is produced as an augmented cloud of points with n+1 dimension, where n is the size of the original data space. Now if we add an extra dimension, actually what will happen is that the data points belonging to the first and second class will take the values of +1 and -1 respectively. Now, actually, what we are doing with this augmented data, which is nothing but adding the extra dimension with the help of a least square regression, actually, what we are doing is estimating the best fit of the training data in least square cases. So if you want to change the order of the polynomial by setting a variables that polynomial orders, if it sets to 1, the case is of 2-dimensional. And when we add an extra dimension to it, it will become a plane of 3D. So if it sets to more than 1, it allows the curvature and hence more complex data fitting is possible. So we have already seen that extra dimension is a constant value, which is in midway between -1 to +1. And the -1 and +1 in the previous sentences are equal to the values we have previously set in the extra dimension of each class. If we set different values, it should be different. And here we were actually in the last lecture. So up till this, we have just revised all the points once again, a flashback to come by where we are actually in this topic. So this is where we are. So we are seeing this least square regression for classification. We have also seen how the loss function can be calculated. Now you can see the figures in front of you. There are two figures, left and right side figures. So this is the left plot actually shows the two classes. So one is red and the other one is a blue, and there is a decision boundary. So the magenta color decision boundary is found by the least square, and the logistic regression model with the green curve. So there are two types of curves we are getting. One that is with the magenta color, you can see that there is with the help of least color, and the other one is a logistic regression model that is with the green curve. Now the right hand side plot, you can see that the results are obtained when extra data points are added. So we are adding some extra data points. See, you can see some more points been added in this here also. So when added at the bottom left of the diagram, the least square is highly sensitive to the outliers like logistic regression. So they are very much sensitive to the outliers. So these are the outliers which we have added extra to the bottom of the diagram. So they are very much sensitive. So they will not include all this in this. Unlike an logistic regression, which much more goes for the sensitivity of the outliers. Outliers means the points which are should be belonging to that data set, which have the same features of that data set. But suddenly the some of the data which are not belonging to that particular group are nothing but the outliers. So we can see that the least square regression methods are very much sensitive to the outliers. Then one more thing is we always have been finding out the parameters which will help you to understand how accurately your linear model is working. So for classification of accuracy for the least square regression method, we have a technique called as a minimum correct classification rate, which is also said to be as MCCR. So it is defined as the minimum of CCR1 and CCR2. So minimum of correct classification rate 1 and correct classification rate 2. So the CCRN is the ratio of correctly classified test points in the class n divided by the total number of the test points in the class. So जो correctly classified हो रहे divided by the total number of the classes we have. The MCCR for linear data is set is 0 using polynomial of order 3. Both the images in the figure shows classification decision boundary obtained from least square regression as detailed above in the purple color. So you can see this is the purple color which we are seeing here. The decision boundary is good until some outlier data points are added to the blue class as an image to the right. The resulted classifier penalizes this outlier even there are two correct data points. What is in the green is the decision boundary obtained by logistic regression. The advantage of it is that it is prone to the outliers and does not penalize two correct data points. What all these things is mean that what we have seen here is the same. See, when we calculate the calculation is done with the two things. One is a logistic regression and the other one is a least square regression. So these are the points which are in the group, so it can easily classify. But as soon as we apply the logistic regression and the least square regressions, by adding some of the points which are a little bit of outliers, at that time it is much more sensitive to that point, which is what is being seen here. So for the classification purpose, if you want to classify it, we are going to calculate it with the help of minimum correct classification rate. So how it is defined? It is defined as the minimum value that has been taken for the correct classification R1 and R2. And if we calculate the values up till n, then we have to divide it by the n class. So we can see that the least square regressions are having a decision boundary which is good. तब तक जब तक outliers data points are added to the blue class in the right. So the result is that there are two correct data points. What is in the green is the decision boundary obtained for the logistic regression. So the advantage is that it's prone to the outliers and does not penalize the two correct data points. So actually it is prone to the outliers. Outliers is what the conclusion from this is concerned. Now, up till now, we have finished linear models. Now we have completely finished the linear models. Now we are moving towards the distance-based model. So there are different models which you are going to see here. Almost I do feel so there are 5 models in this. And one by one, these models will be studied, as some of the models are having their own advantages. Some of them have their own disadvantages. So now the linear models, what we have seen is nothing but a linear combination of the inputs, what we have seen. So that is nothing but y is equal to ax1 plus bx2. Then we also calculated through the straight line, that is y equal to mx plus c. So f of x is equal to ax1 plus bx2. That is what the linear model is concerned. Now that was based on the linear combinations of the inputs. Now this is somewhat a different technique. This is completely based on a distance calculation. So this is the second class of a geometric model. Like linear models, they are based on the geometry of the data. Obviously, like linear models, which were for going for the linear combination of the inputs, this is completely based on the geometry of a data. As the name implies, the distance between models works on the concept of distance. जैसे मैंने बताया कि distance है. आपको बता सकते हैं कि कौन सा classifier था जो हम distance based निकाले थे? Can you remember? There is one classifier जिसमें हमने distance निकाला था. That is KNN classifier, K nearest neighbor classifier. So वो जो classifier था उसमें हमने Euclidean distance निकाला था. और based on that distance वो algorithm काम करता है. So it is similar what we are saying, that the models which we are going to develop is based on the concept of a distance. In the context of machine learning, the concept of distance is not based on merely the physical distance between the 2 points. So it is not just about the physical distance between 2 points. Instead, we could think of a distance between 2 points considering the mode of transport between the 2 points. traveling between two cities by plane covers less distance physically than by train because as the plane is unrestricted. So you can take an example of distance based model. So it is nothing but traveling between two cities with the plane uh, has covers requires less distance as compared to the train because plane is unrestricted. Thus, depending upon the entity and mode of travel, the concept of distance can be experienced differently. बराबर है, सिर्फ डिस्टेंस बोल के चलेगा क्या? तो डिस्टेंस जब ट्रेन से जाएंगे तो वो अलग होगा, अगर वो बाय प्लेन जाएंगे तो वो अलग हो जाएगा. सो मियरली डिस्टेंस निकालना ही सब कुछ नहीं है. इट इज नॉट अबाउट ओनली द फिजिकल डिस्टेंस. इट इज द कंसेप्ट ऑफ distance that can be experienced differently. So the distance matrix commonly used is a Euclidean. मैंने जैसे बताया आपको Euclidean distance है, Minkowski, Manhattan, and Mahalanobis. These are some of the matrices through which we can calculate the distance between the points. Now you can see how the distance has been calculated. If you go by Manhattan, this is how the distance between X and Y is calculated. And this is about the Euclideans, which has been calculated between X and Y. So this is the distance. They are having different techniques of calculating the distances. Distance is applied through the concept of neighbors and exemplars. So मैंने जैसे बताया कि KNN जैसा टाइप था जिसमें नेबर्स, उसमें कैसा था, एक डिसीजन बाउंड्री थी और फिर बाद में वहां से नेबर्स जो नजदीकी नेबर्स है उस लाइन के, उनके बीच में यूक्लिडियन डिस्टेंस निकाला था. तो सेम नेबर्स की जरूरत आपको लगेगी. यू विल बी रिक्वायरिंग द नेबरिंग पॉइंट्स in the data set. If you're having that neighboring points which lies on the decision boundary, which lies near to the decision boundaries, then you can calculate the distance between the line and the points. So in that we have seen, so same is applicable here also, because as far as neighbors are concerned, we require distance. Neighbors are the points in proximity with respect to distance measured, explains through the exemplars. Exemplars are the centroid that finds the center of mass according to the chosen distance matrix, or medoids that find the most centrally located data points. So अभी जब neighbors आ जाते हैं तो नेबर्स जब हम निकालते हैं तो वो नेबर्स कैसे निकालते हैं? विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द डिस्टेंस दैट मेजर्स थ्रू द एग्जाम्पलर्स. फिर आप बोलोगे एग्जाम्पलर्स क्या है? तो दो किस्म के एग्जाम्पलर्स होते हैं, एक तो सेंट्रॉइड वाले होते हैं और एक मेडॉइड्स वाले होते हैं. सो आप दोनों में से कोई तो भी एक तरीके को जा सकते हैं. तो सेंट्रॉइड क्या करता है? इट फाइंड्स द सेंटर ऑफ द मास अकॉर्डिंग टू द चूजन डिस्टेंस मैट्रिक्स, whereas मेडॉइड्स क्या करता है? दैट फाइंड्स द मोस्ट सेंट्रली लोकेटेड डेटा पॉइंट्स. So this is how the neighboring points can be calculated with the help of distance. The most commonly used centroid is the arithmetic mean, which minimizes the squared Euclidean distance to all other points. So अगर centroid की बात करने की कोशिश करेंगे तो arithmetic mean ही सबसे best method है. Now the nearest neighbor classification will actually comes under the distance based model. So the principle behind the nearest neighbor method is to find predefined number of training samples closest in distance to the new point and predict the label from this. So we have already seen this. Now I'm just elaborating it through different angle. So अभी linear model आ गया तो उसके अंडर अलग टेक्निक्स आ गई. डिस्टेंस मॉडल आ गया तो हम कुछ अल्गोरिदम्स को इसमें बिठा के देख रहे हैं, है ना. तो उसमें से बेस्ट एक है KNN है जो इसमें बैठ सकता है डिस्टेंस बेस्ड मॉडल्स के अंदर. So the number of samples can be user defined constant like KNN or vary based on local density of point, that is radius based learning. So अलग अलग किस्म से इसको कैलकुलेट किया जा सकता है. जैसे एक number of samples which can be used based on user defined constant, जिसको k की वैल्यू हम बोलते हैं, k nearest neighbor, और it may be vary depending upon the density of the points. फिर उस मेथड को हम रेडियस बेस्ड नेबर बोलते हैं, जैसे RBN है ना, RBN लर्निंग, और वो जो होता है वो KNN लर्निंग. The distance can in general be any metric measure, that is standard Euclidean distance is the most common choice. Neighbors based method are known as non-generalizing machine learning models since they simply remember all of its training data. So the KNN जिसको हम बोलते हैं वो मोस्टली हमने देखा यूक्लिडियन डिस्टेंस से ही इस्तेमाल करते हैं मोस्टली टू कैलकुलेट द डिस्टेंस ऑफ द पॉइंट्स फ्रॉम द डिसीजन बाउंड्री. So this neighbor based methods are the non generalizing machine learning mode. Non generalizing क्यों है? Because they simply remember all of its training data, है ना. वो सारा कैलकुलेशन करके रखता है और ट्रेनिंग डेटा को फिर से वापस बुलाकर उसके साथ काम करता है. So that's why they are non-generalized machine learning model. They are not a generalized machine learning model. Whereas the other models actually, after training, they apply the results on the test data. But ये ऐसा नहीं करता है. जैसे टेस्ट डेटा आता है वो ट्रेनिंग डेटा की तरफ जाएगा, फिर एनालाइज करेगा और फिर टेस्ट की तरफ जाएगा. So इस तरह से उनके बीच में फर्क है. So mostly the distance based models uses the standard Euclidean distance method, and उसमें neighbor based classification तो obviously आएगा. और neighbor based method के लिए non generalized machine learning method है जो simply remember करता है all of its training data. Despite its simplicity, nearest neighbors can be successful in large number of classification and regression problems, including handwritten digits and satellite image scenes. So वैसा देखा जाए तो ये ज्यादातर क्लासिफिकेशन और रिग्रेशन प्रॉब्लम दोनों के लिए भी यूज होता है डिस्टेंस बेस्ड मॉडल, जिसको हम नियरेस्ट नेबर बोल रहे हैं. सो इसमें आप एनालाइज कर सकते हैं हैंडरिटन डिजिट्स, और यू कैन ऑल्सो एनालाइज द सैटेलाइट इमेजेस सीन्स. So it is used in a very different, it is having a very different canvas. Being a non-parametric method, it is often successful in classification situation where decision boundary is very irregular. So हमने देखा था parametric और non-parametric दो चीजें देखी थी. और parametric में decision boundary काफी regular होती है, whereas in non-parametric methods में decision boundaries irregular होती है. सो ये इरेगुलर के लिए भी ये क्लासिफिकेशन अच्छी तरह से कर पाता है, ये भी हमने देखा था. सो नेबर्स बेस्ड क्लासिफिकेशन इज अ टाइप ऑफ एन इंस्टेंसेस बेस्ड लर्निंग और नॉन जनरलाइज्ड लर्निंग. It does not attempt to construct the general internal model but simply stores the instances of the training data. मैंने जैसे बताया कि वो ट्रेनिंग की तरफ जाएगा, स्टोर करके इंस्टेंसेस, और बाद में फिर उसको निकाल के वापस से टेस्ट करेगा. So this is what the speciality of the KNN is. The classification is computed from simple majority vote of the nearest neighbor of each data point, a query point that is assigned the data class which has the most representative within the nearest neighbors of the point. Two different nearest neighbors classifiers are present. One is a KNN classifier, that is nothing but the nearest neighbor classifier, and the second one is a radius neighbor classifier, which we have seen to be as RNC classifiers. The KNN classifier is the mostly used common technique. ज्यादातर रेडियस यानी कि वो डेंसिटी बेस्ड होता है तो वो उसके लिए नहीं जाते. मोस्टली आप KNN को ही जाओगे डिस्टेंस बेस्ड मॉडल के लिए. The optimal choice of the value k is highly data dependent, and generally larger k suppresses the effect of noise but makes the classification boundaries less distinct. So k की values पे भी हमने discussion किया था कि k की value ज़्यादा हो गई तो क्या हो जाता है, कम हो गई तो क्या हो जाता है. So हम ज़्यादातर large भी नहीं ले सकते, small भी नहीं ले सकते, तो उस केस में हमने k5 लिया था. आप k3 भी ले सकते हैं मगर 3 से कम नहीं होगा, 5 से ज़्यादा भी नहीं होगा, because larger k suppresses the effects of noise. So we have to choose the value of a k based on the instant. It should be in between. So mostly 5 is the value that is been taken for the distance model. Now few more things which is related with the nearest neighbors. The data is not uniformly sampled as far as radio based neighbors classification is concerned. So the user specifies the biased radius. If you are going with the radius neighbor classifier, then we have to fix the radius r. But if you are going with the KNN classifier, we have to fix the value of k. That is what the thing is about. For high dimensional parameter spaces, this method becomes less effective due to the so-called as curse of dimensionality. The basic nearest neighbor classification uses uniform weights, that is the value assigned to the query point is computed from simple majority vote of the nearest neighbors. So the default value, that is weights is equal to uniform, assigns uniform weights to each neighbor. and weights is equal to distance, assign weights proportional to the inverse of the distance from the Curie point. So this is where the most important concept comes to be in picture. So when you put weight equal to uniform, that means it is going to assign a uniform weights to each of the neighbors. Whereas when you put weight is equal to distance, then it assigns the weights that is proportional to the to the inverse of the distance from the Curie point. So alternately, a user defined function of the distance can be supplied supplied to compute the weights. Now association rule mining, now we'll see it in the next lecture, this one, because zyada ho jayega ye points. Okay, we'll stop here. So हमने क्या देखा, डिस्टेंस बेस देखा. डिस्टेंस बेस यानी कि सीधा सीधा KNN है, बाकी कुछ भी नहीं है. आप KNN का एग्जांपल ले लो तो डिस्टेंस बेस्ड मॉडल्स आप क्लियर हो जाएंगे. सिलेबस में भी उसमें क्लियर कट लिखा है नियरेस्ट नेबर, so you can go with the nearest neighbor. Okay, we'll go with the attendance. A, roll number 1,
Present, sir.
2,
Present, sir.
3,
Present, sir.
4,
Present, sir.
5, 6,
Yes, sir.
7,
Present, sir.
8,
5 present, sir.
okay, 9, 10,
9 present, sir.
okay, 10,
Present, sir.
okay, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
Yes, sir.
okay, 16,
Yes, sir.
17,
Yes, sir.
18,
Present, sir.
19, 20,
Present, sir.
21,
Wait.
22,
Present.
23,
Present, sir.
24, 25,
Present, sir.
26,
Present, sir.
27, 28,
Present, sir.
27 is there, na? 28,
Present, sir.
29, 30,
Yes, sir.
31,
Yes, sir.
32, 33,
Present, sir.
34, 35,
Present, sir.
36,
Present, sir.
37,
Present, sir.
38,
Present, sir.
39, 40,
Present, sir.
41,
Present, sir.
42, 43, 44, 45,
Present, sir.
46,
Yes, sir.
47,
Present, sir.
48,
Present.
49, 50, 51,
Yes, sir.
52,
Yes, sir.
53, 54, 55,
Yes, sir.
56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62,
Present, sir. Sir, 60 is present.
58 का
60.
60 is present. Okay.
Sir, 53.
53 पण आहे का?
Sir, 49.
49. बर. 59, 60, 61, 62,
62 present, sir.
63, 64,
Present.
65,
Present.
66, 67, 68,
Yes, sir.
69,
Yes, sir.
70, 71, 72. Any number which is not in my list?
Sir, 29.
29. Any more?
Sir, 14.
14 is there.
35.
35 is there. Okay, we'll go with B now. Roll number 1, 2,
Present.
3, 4,
Yes, sir.
5,
Present.
6,
Present.
7, 8, 9, 10,
Present.
11, 12,
Yes, sir.
13,
Present, sir.
14,
Present, sir.
15,
Present.
16, 17, 18,
Present.
19,
Present.
20,
Present.
21,
Yes, sir.
22,
Present.
23,
Present.
24,
Present.
25,
Present.
26, 27,
Present.
28,
Present, sir.
29,
Present,
30,
sir.
30,
Present.
31, 32,
Present.
33,
Present.
34, 35,
Present.
36,
Present, sir.
37,
Present.
38. कौन काय बोलते काय काय नंबर? 38,
34.
34 आए 34 आए 38,
Present.
39, 40. Okay, 40,
Present, sir.
41.
Present, sir.
Okay, 41, 42, 43, 44,
Present.
45, 46,
Present.
47,
Present, sir.
48, 49, 50,
Present, sir.
51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58,
58. Present.
59,
Present.
60, 61, 62, 63,
Yes, sir.
64, 65, 66, 67,
Present, sir.
68. Okay, 69,
Present, sir.
70. Okay, any number missing out here?
A70, sir.
Huh?
56.
56.
A70.
9.
A70.
9.
B9. A
50.
50 आहे ना?
A57, sir.
A57 का?
B56, sir.
B56 आहे.
A65, sir.
A65 पण आहे, काही अडचण नाही. ठीक आहे.
29, sir.
हा A
B29.
B29 आहे. Okay, so that's all. We'll stop here.